since you brought it up, we're going to go ahead and transition to that route, because I'm sure what most people are here for is how can we marry crypto with infinite banking. So for those of you who don't know, I met Unckle P on a mutual mentorship platform. And basically, I heard him talking his game about crypto. And then I was like, man, he's actually talking about it from a different perspective, like he just mentioned, where he's teaching people how to utilize it and not just invest and hold. And so that's what attracted me to him. So basically, let me ask you this, brother. We talked about how can we marry the two together, and you were talking about leveraging portfolios and putting things together and things of that nature. Can you go into detail about that?
All right. So you have like right now how I would structure like my portfolio. Right now, I got out a lot of different coins, so I do a lot of staking. So since it's a bear market, and well, it's probably not a full bear market, but since everything is going down, why don't I, and if I'm not going to trade anything in and out and I'm not going to take, why don't I just put stuff that I know I'm going to make percentages off of? So you have different platforms where it's like a savings account almost, where you're just putting your crypto in these different platforms and just letting them hold it. And you're getting at least like 6%, 4% different places, 9%, 16%. I mean, then you have yield farming where you could get where you're putting different pairs together and you're getting like 89%, even though those percentages, they vary, depending on how the market is. But by everything being in its infancy with this decentralized finance, you get incentives for basically participating in these different things. So even with like with Polygon, they pay you to borrow money. So you might have to pay back 4%, but then they might pay you 6% in their token to borrow the money right now. Like just crazy stuff is going on.
Crazy. So you mentioned staking and yield farming. And so I just want to make sure I understood you right. Staking is where if you have a crypto portfolio, so let's say I have 100 grand in crypto, I could take a portion of that out and stake it. So that means I'm taking it out of the market and putting it in a savings account, and then I'm going to earn interest on it. Is that right?
Yep, exactly.
Wow.
And what's so powerful about this right now that when people understand stable coins, and right now you're getting a lot of percentages on stable coins, and stable coins, they are pegged against the US dollar or whatever, native currency your country is in. So right now, so say if you stake USDC, which is the US dollar, US digital coin, if you stake that, you might get 16%. So if you stake $100,000 at the end of the year, you got an extra $16,000. Where are you getting anything like, and that's not with the market going up and down, like with Bitcoin, you might have to worry about the price going up and down and different things like that. When you're using stable coins, that's probably the safest investment that you could make if you're going to stake.
Wow. So you just said something that was really powerful. So while the market is fluctuating, your account is still going to pay you that 16% in a USDC coin, US digital coin. Is that right?
Yes.
So that's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So somebody can stake.
I didn't even mention that last time. So.
Right. So people can stake their money and earn double-digit rate of return regardless of what's going on in the market. So basically, they're shielding themselves from all this market volatility. Powerful, right. You guys. So then, okay, and then you also mentioned yield farming. Explain that a little bit more, because I missed that a little bit. I'm sorry, brother.
All right, yield farming. Say if like what platform I use, like Cake DeFi. So I would buy some of the DeFi coin, and then say if I wanted to do a Bitcoin and DeFi pair. Say if I put $1,000, I would put up $1,000 of DeFi and $1,000 of Bitcoin, and I would earn interest on both of them. So I think right now it seems like 70-some%. So I would be getting 70% on both of those. And I would be earning both of those tokens. And then I could take all the interest and put that in a staking. I could automatically put that in a staking account. So all the interest, when that comes in, that's automatically going to make extra residuals as well.
Wait a minute now. So you just mentioned a platform where you're going to earn 70%, 70.
Yes.
And then you're going to take that money and stake it so you can earn, let's just say, for example, USDC, 16%. So how do you convert that to cash to where you can tangibly feel it or touch it?
No, whenever you're ready to say once the market starts going up, because yeah, right now if you would do this with money that you don't even intend to use, some money that you
Mm-hmm.
would have in a savings account that the
Mm-hmm.
banks would only give you what 0.2% on or something
Wow.
like that, and be and
Yeah.
they're the
Yeah.
ones making the money, and that's how this decentralized finance thing is going to work because it's no banks, it's the algorithm. So of course, once these systems hit a certain amount of money, then the percentages are going to go down and stuff like
Of
that.
course. Of course. Yeah.
That's how
But now, so hold on. So you're gonna do some yield farming strategies to get 70%, and then you're gonna take that and still stake your money to get an additional 16%, and then you could still get access to that money.
Yes, you can unstake it anytime. Well, some platforms they have you stake it for a certain amount of time, and then I've seen crazy things where it's like you can get crazy like over 100% APY, but you're staking and locking it like in a freezer for like 5 years or 3 years or something
Got
like
you.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
So
now how do you look this kind of stuff up, like these staking opportunities or these yield farming? How do you look them up? How do you get access to this stuff?
man, I can't say you just find them, but like man, where did I find these? I kind of they kind of just being in the community, just they kind of just
Okay.
pop up. Like I think with Cake DeFi, I think they were advertising on Facebook originally once I first seen them. Because once you do what once Facebook sees what you're into, you'll
Right.
start getting advertisements and stuff.
That's true.
So I
So
think
good
I
point.
first seen them and I was like, I seen the percentages and it was like unreal. So I was like, let me click on here. So I just put just a couple hundred just to see how it was gonna work. And it
It
definitely,
worked.
what I'm saying, instead of just keeping crypto and doing nothing, I'd rather make some percentages on it. So,
Absolutely.
if the
Absolutely.
market goes back good, oh
Now,
yeah.
Now, there was something else that you mentioned. So this is powerful, you guys. I hope you guys are writing this down. I hope you guys are gathering this. Okay, so now we're earning 16% in our crypto portfolio. But then Unckle P is also telling us that we can still convert that into US dollars if we want to make it worth something. For those of us that are new, and I'm gonna go ahead and expose my ignorance. When I first learned about crypto, I was like, but how am I gonna be able to spend it if no one else is accepting this dollar? Right? That was my concern. And then some of the people I was around, same concern. So I didn't dive in enough to understand how to convert to US dollars and all this. So that was my ignorance. So don't crucify me, y'all. That was my ignorance. But I've learned from Unckle P, so we good. Now check this out. With all that being said, though, Unckle P, you said something powerful the other day where you talked about how you can get access to that money tax free. Can you dive into that just a little bit?
And this right here is this is the most powerful thing in crypto. And this is why I understand why like all the Bitcoin like heads always like
Mm-hmm.
hodl, 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 hold, hold, hold.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
to say if you're staking, what I'm saying, right now the market's down, you're staking your Bitcoin or whatever, you're holding still, making your percentages on it. So when the market goes up, this is what you do. You borrow against your Bitcoin instead of selling it. So you could borrow against the 50% of a lot of coins. So you say if you could borrow against 50% of your portfolio, and then the market goes and has a turnaround, you owe back that cryptocurrency. Even though you're getting the money, you owe back the crypto. So if I have two Bitcoin, it goes to 60 grand again. And
Mm-hmm.
then it drops back. And I borrow against one Bitcoin. I have two, but I only borrow against one. So I have 60 grand. Once it drops back to 30, I could go pay back this 30 grand, or I could go pay back this Bitcoin. Now I got a free 30 grand, tax free. And I still have my Bitcoin. It's people that
Jesus.
trade like this.
Now, I hope y'all understood what he just told you. So when the market's on the incline, Bitcoin goes back to 60,000. You could borrow against 50% of the portfolio. Well, so you have two coins, you borrow against one. So you borrow 30. The market drops, and when the market drops, you let's say Bitcoin goes from 60 to 15, just for example's sake. When you're paying your Bitcoin back, you pay 15. So essentially you kept $15,000 that you could play with tax free. Because the market dropped, you don't owe it.
Yep.
Did I surmise that right?
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
y'all. Come on, y'all. Now, if the market goes up, then you need to replace that, obviously, because the market keeps going from that point of what you borrowed. Is that right?
Right. Right.
Okay.
And it's not like that these loans are like, really long-term loans. So just
And
say
that's
if
the
you
other thing
know
I was
that,
going to ask you. Yeah.
yeah, there's short-term loans there, even they have day loans and stuff like that. So even like if you're trading, like, cause if you see something that's gonna pop up and it's like, oh man, it had a big pop today, it might have a drop tomorrow. So even if you want to get a few $1,000 tax-free, is to borrow against it instead of cashing it out. Cause once you trade and you trade it for a different currency, you're making a taxable event. And
Correct.
those cryptocurrency exchanges, they're not going to be fair to you. They're working more so with the IRS because
Right.
and the SEC, because they're trying to be compliant with this whole
Right.
new market and stuff. So
So,
they're going to play ball.
in your experience, brother, what would be the reason for somebody to borrow against their account? Because you said they're mostly short-term loans. Short-term, does that mean 3 months, 6 months, 1 week? What's the longest you've seen? Or the
Longest I
average,
seen,
the average, I should say. I'm
as
sorry.
long as I seen 3 months, but most people borrow for like a month, a couple of weeks, because most people, what I'm saying, they've been doing it for a while, so they really do it for like kind of trading. Like some people, like they'll like trade their Ethereum. They like, because you can see, because you can get like whale alerts, so you could see on the blockchain when there's like large amounts of currency or cryptocurrency being traded from a wallet to an exchange. So if
Yeah.
somebody just took a couple of hundred Bitcoin, and a lot of people are taking a bunch of Bitcoin from their wallets to exchanges, and you getting those alerts in Telegram or whatever, it's like, oh, well, it's about to be a big sell-off. Well, I need to go ahead, borrow against this then. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
drop tomorrow, whatever, I can go in and buy back in for the low, and I got me some free money for the month and for the week and tax free.
Got you. Got you. Okay. So, what